Hello everyone. Welcome to this tutorial on classes and ID in HTML by Simplilearn. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the classes and ID in the HTML and how to use them. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, what is an HTML class? An HTML class attribute is used to specify a single or multiple class names for an HTML element. The class name can be used by CSS and JavaScript to do some tasks for HTML elements. You can also use this class in the CSS with a specific class with a period character followed by the name of the class for selecting elements. So let's jump onto the demo to understand the classes and ID better. So we are on our Sublime text editor. Let's add the standard boilerplate of HTML. We'll give the title as classes and ID in HTML. Let's start with a basic example. We'll see how to define an HTML class. So inside the body tag, we'll add one h1 and we'll give this a class name of head1. We'll add some text here. This is the heading 1. Now you can copy this part because we'll need it enough for the lines. So for the h2, this will be the heading 2. For h3, this will be heading 3. And let's add one more h4. This is the heading 4. So as you can see, we have used the same class name in all our h1, h2, h3 and h4. So if you save the file and go to the page and refresh, you will see the headings are there on the page. This is the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 and heading 4. Now let's learn how we can use this class name for our styling purpose. So we'll open the style tag here and you will mention the class name by period followed by the class name. So head1, open the parenthesis and let's set the color to light cyan and we'll set the font family to set to it cursive. Keep the background color to black. Okay, so you can see we have mentioned the class name dot head1 for our styling purposes and we have given the color, font family and background color for it. So just save the file and go back. Refresh. Now you can see we have designed this h1, h2, h3 and h4 using a class tag. Now let's use another example with a different class name. So here only we'll make the changes. Let's name this class as h2, this h3 and let it be h4. Now you can style them separately. For the head2, we can set the color to say light pink, and we can set the font background color to red. Okay, now similarly for the h3 dot h3, set the color to I don't know what color this is, let's say Puchisa, and set the background color to, let's say, blue. Okay, save the file and go back to the page. Now you can see we have designed our h1, h2, h3 and h4 using the different class name. This is the example of using the multiple classes on the same code. One thing you should note that these class names must be separated by the space. There are few points you should know while working with the class. So the first one will be the class attribute can be used on any HTML element. Like any HTML element can have a class name. The second point will be the class name is a case sensitive. Head1, and if we change here to say, we'll keep this H as capital. So this will be wrong. The style won't be implemented on the page. Now if you refresh, you can see the style is not implemented. So the class names are case sensitive. Let's change this back. Refresh, and now you can see our design is back. So this was all about HTML classes. Now let's move on to the ID attribute. So the HTML ID attribute is used to specify the unique ID for an element of the HTML document. It allocates the unique identifier which is used by the CSS and the JavaScript for performing certain tasks. In cascading style sheet, that is CSS, we mention an element with a specific ID by using the hash symbol followed by the ID. So let's work on an example to understand this better. So we'll use the same previous example. We'll mention the h1 and this time we'll use the ID. So ID, and we'll name it as head1. This is the first heading. For h2 also, we'll mention the ID name as head1 only. Head1. This is the second heading. Now to style the heading, we'll go back here, we'll open the style tag, and we'll use the hash symbol to mention the ID. So hash head1, open the parenthesis, we'll set the color to light green, we'll set the font family to cursive, and we'll set the background color to black. Okay, now save the file and go back and refresh. So you can see this works in a similar manner to the class, apart from it that we use the hash symbol to mention the ID name. So now let's change the example and use the different ID names for different h1s. So this can be h1, this can be h2. Let's add one more. We'll name it as ID head3. Okay, so we'll style the head2. We'll set the color to red. For head3, we'll set the color to yellow. Let's use green yellow. Okay, save the file, go back and refresh. Now you can see we have the different style for different IDs. So in this way you can use the different IDs to design your HTML page. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked this video. If yes, please subscribe and like to our channel. Thank you and happy learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.